Has this ever happened to you? You come back to 7 Days to Die after 6 months or a year away, and day 7 rolls around, and your old faithful base design just gets absolutely blasted. And you go on YouTube and find a base building tutorial, you copy it perfectly, and it still fails. This is something I've personally seen a lot. I get a lot of comments on a lot of my Horde base videos telling me that some update has broken the base in some way. Why is that? Well, the fun pimps like to update the zombie AI with pretty much every major update, so roughly every year, with a few months of minor tweaks as well. If you're not familiar with the deceptively complex Horde Night AI, let me give you the short version. Zombies don't just know where you are and then try to take the shortest path to you. They actually have, as the community often calls it, a structural engineering degree. You see, zombies know how much health all the blocks have, and they know the structural integrity of your base, and they can identify the weak points like pillars and struts, and if those weak points are a faster way to kill you, then they'll use those. The structural engineering degrees are one thing. They also have the ability to enter something called Destroy Area. This mechanic exists solely to counter actually good base design. If a zombie falls too short of a distance, they will enter Destroy Area, which means that for like 10 seconds or so, they'll attack a random point on your base with no real objective other than to just ensure that the player will be fucked over if they use any kind of vertical base design. Unless, of course, you put them up to an arbitrary height, I believe 13 blocks, in which case when they fall, they won't go into Destroy Area. Another one is that zombies can never actually die from fall damage, they just keep going down to a maximum of 1/3 of their health. And that's just some of the oddities of zombie AI in this game, and it's to serve to counter a highly specific base design the developers have essentially decided you're not allowed to use because they decided that it's not fun. And that's not just speculation, that's actually why. I'll show you the quote I'm talking about later in the video. But what exactly are the devs trying to counter? Is it just designs they see that are popular? Is it designs that they've tested internally and found too strong? Or is it designs from Horde-based tutorial videos from creators that they just don't like? No, not exactly. Every one of these absolutely annoying Horde Night AI changes from the old zombie AI, which ran at you and tried to kill you, are done in the name of stopping AFK base designs, or at least base designs that are too good in general. That's what gets their jorts in a jingle, AFK bases. Something I guarantee most players never even use, or they use once or twice and then come to the conclusion that yeah, that's not very fun. So that's why there are 50 million new rules for the zombie AI every update, which all these new rules make it very, very difficult for new players to make a Horde base at all. So then what do? They go online and they look for a Horde base tutorial, and what do they find? Oh, they find the latest and greatest rule-lawyered Horde base that can go completely AFK because the devs missed that particular design in their attempts to nerf AFK bases. And then, in the next update, that base doesn't work anymore, leaving the player with no base design, so what do? They go and find another one. This is a vicious cycle. Horde Night AI has become so complicated and rules-lawyery that new players pretty much have to go and watch tutorials made by people who make it their job to understand this AI, or indeed, they'll just get served an AFK base by the algorithm because those designs are very popular. And of course, a month after the latest update, we found a new way to completely counter all the changes the Fun Pimps have made. And this goes on every single update, and basically the Fun Pimps have made base building less fun for, I want to say, like 90% of players by adding in all these weird rules, aren't documented or intuitive in-game at all in the name of stopping players who play with AFK bases. That's why I rarely build Horde bases anymore. Certainly not Horde base guides that often anymore either, because 1 month later after I make the video, the design is conspicuously broken. Now, do I believe I'm being targeted specifically? No, that's obviously absurd, but the mental effect is the same. You do something, you put a lot of effort into it, you like it, it works, they change something, it breaks, and you're disheartened and you don't feel motivated to use the mechanic again. So what do I do nowadays? I just sit on roofs and shoot down at zombies. It works, it doesn't take any effort, and I literally don't even choose the building I'm gonna use until like 6 PM on day 7. I just leave Horde Nights in the back of my mind. And I know a lot of players fall either into that camp or the camp of relying on YouTube tutorials to either understand the new rules and make their own bases, or to just copy the base designs entirely. And I think that sucks. You can see here on my poll I did a few days ago of about 7,000 people only 20% of people responded that they never use Horde-based tutorials. Now obviously, this is a YouTube audience, so it's going to be more biased towards people who do use YouTube, but I still think it's an interesting result. And I think that kind of sucks. A small amount of people the fun pimps just cannot get over are indirectly ruining base building for so many players because the fun pimps has tunnel vision on these people they just decided are not allowed to have fun in the way that they do it. Regardless, that's why I don't build Horde bases anymore, but this video isn't just meant to be a fun pimps bad updates to the left Reddit video. I actually have some news that might actually change some of this in the future. As you may have heard in previous news videos from me, the fun pimps are planning a big update where they put lots and lots of stuff on menu toggles to customize the experience to your liking. It was suggested by one of the devs to be a list of up to 100 menu toggles. Again, don't expect actually 100, just possibly. Some things we do know they're looking at are things like ammo scarcity, med scarcity, vending machines being enabled, and trader settings. Now we know a little bit more. A few days ago on Reddit, Madmo replied to a thread which was discussing some of the things I've mentioned in this video, and we got to hear Joel's response to that Reddit thread, which wasn't mine by the way, but it's espousing a similar message. And his response was, quote, "I don't speak for everyone on the team, but one of our mantras is endless challenge and endless reward. If someone can endlessly trivialize Horde Night, that's something we would try to fix. Not because we're jerks, but because we feel deep down most players want a challenge. But then I look at the crazy amount of work you've done here to avoid getting killed and minimize damage to your base. Then I would applaud you. Like if you want to spend that kind of time studying someone's particular build, then it feels like we've won, which is a strange thing to say when you keep nerfing these base designs you're talking about every update." But like he said, he doesn't speak for the whole team and he's not really the AI guy anyway, but he is kind of a directing force in the fun pimps. It seems your whole idea is to make a structure where you're safe but you're not getting much XP or loot, so I think that's totally fine. One of the most rewarding things to do in the game is come up with a base design that's fun and you can kill as many zombies as you can and get lots of loot and XP, and then you stop playing for a few months and you come back and your base is rendered unusable when you do, because they decided you were having fun 10% too easily. To the quote, "That said, we want to add as many options as we can, like zombies don't dig, dumb AI, and smart AI with percentage sliders between them. But by default, we want zombies to eat your brains unless you've prepared an adequate amount or had an adrenaline pumping night killing them. Clearly some people want it hard and some want it easy. So the solution is options. I tend to build a horde base in the wasteland because game stage is higher and I love a challenge, but the next guy will fortify a building and some want an underground bunker to hide in and be safe. I think you should have to make weekly modifications to your base to support and prepare for something harder. No one design should work forever without maintenance. I think we're quite okay with successful bases that require traps and maintenance and players fighting off zombies. If someone cooks up an AFK XP making easy machine, then that might feel too cheap." And there is what I'm talking about right there. Joel said it. Your base design gets rendered obsolete every fucking year because the devs don't want AFK based designs to exist because they've decided that that's not fun. Which of course motivates you to look on YouTube for base designs. And what's the most successful kind of horde based design tutorial? Oh, would you look at that? It's the AFK based designs they make every time you try and stop them. It's a vicious cycle. You're in a prison of your own creation here, fun pimps, caused by tunnel visioning on a small amount of players, having fun in a way you didn't like. And not only have you made it less fun for those players because you keep trying to counter them, you've made it less fun for everybody else because those changes also affect our designs. And everybody ends up disliking you more for it. They counter it anyway, rendering all that work you did pointless, wasting your own time, money, and resources, and delaying wanted features and bug fixes, making you again less popular. Truly a masterful everyone loses scenario we found ourselves in with this game development philosophy. But regardless, the AI sliders he mentioned here are probably a good thing for the game in general. If you want to make an underground base, make it and turn the zombies digging off. If you want a classic experience, like say prior to like Alpha 17, I'm not sure when these AI changes started, but dear God, can I feel the water boiling around me now? You can have that experience. You can just turn on dumb AI and it'll probably be very similar to what we had in the olden days, back in my day. And by default, you can have the convoluted system where the zombies do a whole bunch of bullshit to try and counter specific kinds of play styles, and there's 100 million rules. I don't think any of this will actually solve this development problem though. I don't even know if the fun pimps necessarily see the problem that I'm talking about here. People won't just change the AI settings because it'll feel like admitting defeat, so they'll just rules lawyer up another AFK horde based design. And my evidence for that is the fact that you can literally turn off hordes and AFKers still do this shit. It's almost as if They enjoy it. So why would an AI toggle stop them when that toggle doesn't? They enjoy countering the zombie AI, that's fun for them, and the fun pimps have endlessly decided that that's not the right way to have fun and will continuously fight them and continuously introduce new mechanics that will continuously be absolutely arcane to the average player, ruining it for the vast majority of people who don't dedicate their lives to making Horde bases. Still, at the end of the day, I cannot complain about getting more menu toggles to customize the game. That's absolutely a great feature. And the silver lining is that they are at least listening to the community again. Anyway, let me know your thoughts about all of this. Are you going to be playing with the dumb AI or maybe with digging turned off? Are you going to play with like a mix, which is kind of what it sounds like? That could be quite fun. The mixed AI, I think, is going to be the hardest way to play. Sorry, I'm going all over the place. Mixed AI, I think you're going to have dumb AI that's just going to run towards your base and hit it. That's going to be quite challenging, but obviously that's quite exploitable. If you combine that with the rules lawyered zombies, you might have something like really challenging to fight there, because you have to make something that uses their pathing really well but is also extremely robust and capable of withstanding stuff. So that's an interesting thought, and we'll have to see how that actually works. But yeah, let me know your thoughts on these changes and if you're going to use them, and your thoughts on like Horde bases over the past few years. Have you been getting your Horde base design constantly nerfed? Have you switched over to just never bothering with Horde bases like I currently do? Although I am thinking of getting back into Horde base design just to spite them. I don't know how that would spite them, but just let me have my weird moment. Anyway, if you want to know more about those future toggles coming to the game, check out this video appearing on screen right now. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.